Hey, happy Sunday, you guys. Dr. Brian here with this morning's version of, I guess it's a Sunday morning version of Coffee Talk. And so today's cup is actually a tea today. Yes, you can have tea if you're not a coffee drinker and still participate. But we had the great experience last week to head up to Napa and spend some time around Sonoma with a couple of really good friends, and then also some time up around the Russian River. And if you ever get a chance, Russian River Vineyards, this is a charitable cause where they donate a portions of their sales to animal rescue. And so Chester is the official mascot. However, today's topic, I have purposely not put these on a schedule, meaning I have to do it this morning at this time and I have to post it at this time because I want to keep these authentic and I want to keep these organic because I think that's the beauty in this. Because if you find value in what I share, then great. And if you don't have to watch it. But a lot of people tend to resonate with certain topics. And so, one of the things that came up in the spirit of our week this week, we were out of sorts, meaning we got back late Monday night, and then Tuesday and Wednesday were really, really heavy days with patient care and working with folks all across this great country, which is a beautiful thing, coordinating labs, coordinating intakes and different things. However, we do a Bible study on Wednesday nights, and one of the things that came up in this was the topic of forgiveness. And, we talked about, or I've posted about before, are you a peacemaker or are you a peace breaker? And there are two types of people. A peacemaker is the person who never speaks their mind, they never say anything, they just take it on the chin and kind of push it down. And they internalize things and they never address the root cause. And then on the other end of that extreme is what is called a peace breaker. And these are the people that are like, oh no, we're going to talk about it right now. We're going to solve this right now. And we're going to keep hammering it home and we're going to keep talking about it and we're going to keep talking about it. And even if one person decides to stop talking about it, the other person keeps talking about it because, again, the need to be right is far greater than the need to come to a truce. But with our Bible study on Wednesday, the topic came up and it was about forgiveness. And one of the gentlemen that was at our Bible study, he said, and it was an interesting conversation because I can't remember how it started or the exact phrasing of the question, but somebody said something to him or behaved a certain way. And he told the person, he said, I just want you to know that what you said and did made me feel this way, but I forgive you. And the other person said, well, I didn't do anything wrong. You don't need to forgive me. And so I wanted to talk about this topic today because forgiveness is more for you than it is for the other person. And I want you to think about that. Forgiveness is truly more for what's in here than the other person and how they receive it. Because a lot of times, whether someone says something off to us or whether somebody acts in a way that we don't agree with, my opinion of the topic is it came up as I said, look, people are doing the best that they can with what they have. And nobody wakes up, at least I don't think. Most people wake up with this idea of, I'm going to be an a hole today and I'm going to do whatever I can to ruin everybody else's days. But if you have people that react a certain way and they don't have the level of education, the level of personal development, the level of hard conversations that you have, then their coping skills and their navigational skills are going to be a little bit different when it comes to those conversations. So when we're young, we don't like confrontation, and so we always avoid. But as we grow in our faith and we grow in our life, we understand that hard conversations are just that. They're hard conversations, whether we agree or disagree with them. And we know that we need to have them. And one of the things in my marriage that I've always said is if I don't agree with something, that's okay. But I need to let Des know how I feel. And if she doesn't agree with something, she will definitely let me know how she feels. And I would want it no other way. I want to know if I've hurt her and I want to know if I've wronged her because then it gives me the opportunity to try to change my behavior or to try to do something to make it right. So when sharing this post, forgiveness is more for you because when you don't forgive somebody and you harbor that resentment or you harbor that feeling of them wronging you, then it perpetuates and it gets worse over time. And the more you see them act differently, you still may hold a jaded edge to think that you haven't been forgiven or they haven't forgiven you. Let me back up. You may feel that they haven't asked for forgiveness from you, but it's going to give you more peace of mind and it's going to give you more peace in your heart if you tell them how you feel and you tell them that you forgive them. We all make mistakes in this life. There was only one perfect man, and so he doesn't reside on this earth, and we all make mistakes. And so when we make mistakes, the only thing that we can do is ask for forgiveness, and we need to extend that same grace to the people that wrong us. Because if you ever think about something in your life that you did unintentionally, but you had to ask for forgiveness, well, you have to extend that same courtesy to people who may have wronged you. So if someone ever asks for, not acts, if someone ever asks for your forgiveness, you have to give it to them because they're asking. And just remember that there's a saying, we can always forgive, but we may never forget. And as we're working through this life and we're developing our skills, it's really, really important to understand and keep in present time consciousness that nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. I've had conversations with employees and I made them feel a certain way and it was not my intention. And I had to apologize and say, look, I understand. I made you feel this way. That's not what I meant to do. How can I be better? And I've had conversations with friends where I made them feel a certain way and then I had to ask for forgiveness. Now, whether they extend that forgiveness to me, that's a completely different conversation. But once I ask for it, that allows me to release it from my heart. That allows me to give it to God. That allows me to move forward. So just remember, if you're holding a grudge and if there's somebody that you need to talk to and ask for forgiveness, it doesn't need to be a long drawn out conversation where you need to be heard or you need to be right. It can be as simple as picking up the phone and saying, look, I did X and you felt this way, and I just want you to know that I forgive you. And how our relationship is shaped going forward is going to be determined on how both of us interact with one another. So that is my share for today's coffee talk. It's all about forgiveness, and it's not about the other person. It truly is about you. So you got to give it up and you got to let God handle it. And most importantly, you've got to be humble and you've got to realize that we all make mistakes. So offer the same forgiveness to those that may have offended you. You would want that same courtesy and you want to make sure that you extend that to them. So if you'd ever want to ask for forgiveness, give that opportunity to the person who may have asked you, okay? Make it a great Sunday, you guys. I am headed off to volunteer at church, and then I'm going to spend some time outside doing some yard work and doing some things with the wellness wager. But as I always say, it's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day, okay? Be blessed. See you guys soon.